By all Wolf War games. And play them. No, Alien also not. I think I have it. Nope, Evil Genius was the last Dungeon Keeper clone I played. Me neither. Never got around to it. Share with them. That's now good. Also, I played the original Dungeon Keeper many years ago. I have no clue. Long time ago. When it was released. As all the Dungeon Keeper clones, I never tried. Yet. So, I have some, which I got in some bundles. I always wanted to try them out. But, yeah, never came around to do so. Usually, I like to play more the good guys than the bad guys. Also, in this Dungeon Keeper kind of games, you play the minis. Also, so I don't know if they made some extra stuff, but the point is, you are evil and you're the boss. And usually you have like a core, a heart. If that is going kaput, then it's game over. And you have peasants and imps and stuff like that. And you have to mine gold, you have to build a dungeon, and you have to train your people. And as an old Dungeon Keeper, that was like, if I remember correct, there were like heroes coming into the dungeon, and you had to defend them. So something like that. So. It's been a long time. But the most iconic stuff was that you had this, your mouse was an evil hand, you know, like a really monster hand. And if your imps were too slow, you could slap them, like, so they worked faster. Someday you should try Gabriel Knight, Sins of Our Fathers. Is that a click and point? Dungeons try to copy it, but in my opinion, it failed the Dungeon Keeper humor much. I think the same for Theme Hospital. You know, 2 Point Hospital tries a lot to be Theme Hospital in modern times, but it's not like they are terrible. I dislike the balancing, but also I think the humor, which was from Theme Hospital, they could not really capture. So. Remember click and point, yeah. Also, maybe I'm also pretty nostalgic. You know, that's always hard when you play the original game and it's really your fond memories, especially, you know, these old games which were the first in this type and really special, making a new type of game with new ideas and stuff. It has, for many people, a special place in your heart. And to beat that is just really, really difficult. It's not easy. And so, yeah. We don't want to be too mean. But because of that, I thought I will maybe try 2 Point University. Because it's not like it's not related to Theme Hospital. And maybe, you know, their own idea is the same type of game, how you build and everything, but with a different idea. So. Yeah, Overlord, yeah, genau, should be also good. Overlord Tycoon also tried to copy Theme Hospital, but did not quite succeed. It was very fun, so I got it for £3 a sale. That's nice, yeah. A 2 Point Campus, genau, you're really enjoying it? Okay. Saying that it narrates the Stanley Parable a similar humor. Okay. By playing, listen to the narrator and maybe even not do as he says straight away. Okay, so he gets annoyed. Okay, we will try. Yes, a good story. Okay. I have to check if I have this click and point. But yeah, it was also unique to play for once not the hero. That's true. Okay. So I can see graphics. Game. If you get annoyed by the narrator, you can also mute him if he is too annoying. Huh? Okay. Oh, I guess this game I will probably play with control, with keyboard and mouse. Okay, let's give it a try. Campaign.
It was time. The troops of the Absolute Evil had driven the Alliance back to their capital, King's Ending. The time for the final battle had arrived. Prepare to destroy the Alliance, and with it, all good in the land once and for all.
Right? We fighting immediately?
Once upon a time, there was a kingdom full of flowers and rainbows, where the sun shone all the time and there was loads of that goody-goody, lovey-dovey good people stuff going on. There, the alliance of abominably good people lived in unearned wealth and prosperity. But there was a path leading to a different place there. At the end of this path was a rock. There was a cave carved in this rock, in which the Absolute Evil lived. It wasn't a grubby, damp cave smelling of muck and mildew, but a deep, dark dungeon, so dark that even darkness itself was afraid of it.
Itself?
It was home to numerous innocent monsters, who
You
enjoyed
see?
a happy,
The
contented
unicorn!
existence, living in complete harmony with their environment. But time and again, the sickening, sweet-smelling good visited this underworld in search of treasure and experience points. Many monsters found this to be the death of them, but much worse, the Absolute Evil's treasures were being stolen. One day, just as a few more heroes had finished plundering its dungeon, the Absolute Evil decided it had had enough, and decided to do something new, something quite monstrous. Go to the surface. The Alliance tried to resist, but the approaching horde just flowed over them like an angry wave of axes, teeth, and bad breath. After numerous unrelenting battles, the Absolute Evil finally stood before the Alliance's capital, King's Ending.
I guess we are the Absolute Evil. Remember, the Hand of Terror can pick up multiple creatures at once. You do not have to transport them individually. Okay. So, Absolute Evil and Hand of Terror. Wonderful.
After countless battles, the forces of the Absolute Evil reached the Alliance capital, King's Ending. The laughable remnants of the forces of good had come here to make ready for the final battle. Evil would pay a high price indeed to storm those fortress walls, or so they thought. Suddenly, a rumble rose from deep within the earth. Stones burst asunder, revealing an ancient path into the depths. Out of the depths of Stygian darkness arises the invincible evil. With earth-shaking steps, the unstoppable evil began its trek towards the front. In the terribly improbable event that it may have forgotten how that works, a formidable help function has been provided.
Prime Evil. Can we eat the rabbit?
The presence of the Absolute Evil was also reflected in the land itself. Grass withered, and in places the ground tore open to reveal bubbling lava.
Oh! Okay. So here, we have to go up. Hello! Oh, everything is turning, you see that? Oh, yeah.
Even the forest could not withstand the aura of the ultimate evil and beat a hasty retreat.
Oh, yeah?
A few of the Alliance units had entrenched themselves here. A determined Absolute Evil marched towards them in order to strike them down with its mighty weapon.
It's interesting that we start like this, because usually never we're in the also not on the overworld, and usually you build the dungeon. So
The absolute evil had discovered a medal. These legendary awards ensured a creature could be made even more powerful. Only one downside: the creature could only wear one at a time. Eyes ablaze with greed, the insidious evil gazed upon the blood-drenched battlefield. Here the last defenders of good would die, and an age of evil begin. Projectiles from the Alliance's catapults darkened the sky, but the Horde's fighting skills were at their best in darkness if they survived. Defeating good was as easy as taking candy from a baby for the unstoppable evil. Candy.
so many. Kill them all. Yeah, you're right, Compile Quest, yes. Loot!
And the absolute evil took yet another hero to the slaughtering block.
Can we kill the catapult? So.
The absolute evil destroyed the defenders' camp in the east with the greatest of ease. Now, only one tiny camp offers any resistance to the absurdly evil evil. And even that won't be able to hold out for much longer.
How do we go there? Okay, now you go here, oder? Oh, hier. So. Destroy this catapult. So. First the healer. Boom.
The absolute evil destroyed the defenders' camp in the west with the greatest of ease. The defenders in front of the city had been beaten to a pulp and defeated. Now the time had come to attack King's Ending. The final battle beckoned.
How do I go there? So we have to go here? Here. Okay. I thought I have to help my friends, but no.
But what's this? The wicked evil was hesitating. Rather than taking the fastest route to the city gate was firmly barricaded by the Alliance's archers. But the absolute evil would not allow itself to be held up by such a ridiculous impediment. So, go get them! Destroy them now! Ha 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 ha! Oh yes, sorry, stay in character. The absolute evil used its all-powerful magic to eliminate the archers and open the gate to the city. Using its legend, wait for it, dairy powers. The absolute evil destroyed the impediment with ease and simultaneously eliminated a whole group of defenders. True story. The road to the capital was now clear. The absolute evil did not hesitate for even 1 nanosecond. The insidious evil entered King's Ending. A small, pitiful group of defenders stood in its way. Suddenly, the doors of several houses in the city opened, and with a loud roar, defenders bore down on the rather surprised evil. An ambush.
It hurt. Oh, I'm almost dead.
And then suddenly, the absolute evil hit the ground. The day was saved, and good had triumphed. The Alliance lived happily ever after, whilst the defeated forces of evil had to eke out the remainder of their miserable existence underground. No, of course not. In reality, absolute evil was not defeated, but, just
Sleeping.
took a little comfort break. A short while later, it arose once again.
Good. Good. Oops. Was just
The
for the
invincible
story.
evil had crushed the defenders. King's Ending had been defeated. At least, that's what it thought.
Uh-oh.
Suddenly, the final heroes of the Alliance emerged from nowhere. Another ambush? Now, this was becoming very boring. But wait, this time it was different. Instead, the heroes raised their hands and started singing an incomprehensible chant. A magical ritual? This did not bode well. Well, actually, it bode the arrival of good things, great things, unless you happen to be the absolute evil.
Here.
Somewhere in the depths of the dungeon, the ultimate evil awoke. It did not know what had happened, nor why it had awoken, but it longed for revenge. The last remaining heroes of the country joined forces and cast a powerful banishment spell. The absolute evil disappeared from sight with a threatening gesture, and a faint whispered, "I'll be back,"
I'll be
could be
back.
heard coming from its lips. The absolute evil had been banished, and its essence shattered into several pieces. Its reign of terror had ended. The good people of the overworld rejoiced, and an era of peace began for the Alliance. The evil creatures were driven back into the underground, doomed to serve as cannon fodder for pleasure-seeking adventurers. Meanwhile, secreted away in the world's most inaccessible places, the last remains of the absolute evil were resting, never again to see the light of the overworld. Until today, that is. Somewhere deep under the earth, the ultimate evil awoke.
Okay, let's go. Ultimate evil. After we have loading screen.
And the hand of terror arose, controlled by the ultimate evil.
Ah,
Come on, hand of terror, arise, damn you! Methinks that exploring the surrounding area would be a sensible strategy. However, to do this, light would be required. Still not bright enough. An old throne room was revealed by the light. The circumstances remained a mystery. The hand of terror flew through the throne room, following each and every thought the ultimate evil had. After a few flying sessions, the ultimate evil was able to control the hand with ease. The time had come to call forth creatures who were completely devoted to it and would do its dirty work. Little snots were the dregs of each and every dungeon and spent their time taking care of it. The expansion-mad evil hired one
come here.
snot on the spot.
Snopsy.
The first little snot appeared. It was completely ready to work in the dungeon and to crawl in the dust before the ultimate evil. Little snots were important to the ultimate evil because they took care of many important little things, such as excavating new areas. The psionically gifted evil could sense the presence of something important that was buried to the south. It instructed its little snots to dig in that direction.
Okay, wait. We want to go here. Huh?
As quick as a fart, the little snot made his way to the marked position and began to dig.
So now we have to make room and we have to find gold. Snopsy.
Behold, the creatures of the overjoyed evil had apparently been much more industrious than it had thought. A great dungeon was revealed behind the wall. Everything was already in place. Doors, traps, a well-filled treasury.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait. Treasury? And where, if you please, is this treasury? Oh, well. One can't expect too much of these mindless little snots. First of all, some gold had to be dug out to make space for a treasury to be created. The hand of terror swiftly marked a few small gold veins so that the little snots could excavate them. As soon as a gold vein was selected, a little snot immediately set out to mine valuable gold for the greedy evil.
See, now they get gold. But it looks really cool to get. So far, the first impression of the game is really good. And the narrator is really fun. Indeed. Snorsy, Snorer, Snuffle, Snopsy, Snark. They have nice names. See, I can grab them. Oh. How can you slap? Okay. We need 100 gold. Ah, here you can see gold.
Once most of the gold had been mined, the Hand of Terror quickly created a treasury on the spot so that the precious metal could be safely stored.
Treasury. Build a treasury in which little snots can hoard more treasures for you.
The clever evil mastered this task with flying colors. From now on, little snots could use the treasury to store mined gold. It
That's
was
so
then at
nice
the
when you
greedy
put
evil's
everywhere the gold
disposal
coins.
Whenever more rooms needed to be built or new creatures recruited. Little snots were all well and good, but were too weak and cowardly to defend the dungeon.
Oh.
Since it was not able to defend itself, the ultimate evil would have to hire some orcs. But they would require food. Liquid food. Well, beer to be precise. So the next important thing to build was a brewery. And that would require some space to be created. The ultimate evil had the feeling that its servants were not really putting their backs into the work. Might a hearty slap from the Hand of Terror change that?
How can I hit them? Hit a little snoot. Yeah, how do I hit?
The sadistic
Aha,
evil
I got
encouraged
it.
its creature to work a little faster, with a friendly but not at all gentle slap.
Okay, got it. Regenerate to the lucky find. What can we do with that? I can't. Okay, whatever. I can't get the book again. We make this one. We need space for. Pick out a clear area. Okay. What's also not good is if you dig too much. It can be that you maybe open a room where already heroes are coming. That's not so nice when it's happening.
The little snots found a healing potion in a hidden room. This was able to restore one of the ultimate evil's creatures to full health.
Also, okay. Pick out a clear area. What does it mean? What is a clear area? Oh, so this is clear, but naja. We can only build treasury? Post gold. See? Oh, treasury looks awesome, oder? Still demolished.
However, the absurd evil was still hesitating. Alcohol? Consumed in the dungeon? Wouldn't that increase the crime rate? Of course not. There's no such thing in this game.
Okay. Here's also gold. Ooh. Wrong panda. Yeah, I will not change not a panda extra for this. But yeah, would have been if we would play more of that, that would make sense. Yes. I agree. I think I liked always the most the treasure room. But I don't pick out a clear area. I don't know what kind of area they want. I mean, I think we have enough. Ah, so here! Oh, I'm so blind. Yeah, yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah. Ah, sorry. Looking on the map helps. Here, there was the exclamation mark. Oh, sorry. I went to the left. I wanted to, that we all clean the right. Snark, snoop, snoof, sniff. I'm wondering how many snopsy names they have.
There was now an area cleared for the brewery site, and with quick finger snaps from the hand of terror, the room stood ready.
Brewery. Build a brewery where your little snots can brew delicious beer. It's utterly inconceivable to expect your monsters to work without this. Understandable.
Excellent. But the recently built brewery lacked a brewing copper. With a sigh of resignation, the overworked evil set about taking care of that too.
Put a brew kettle. Build a brew kettle. Build a brew kettle for making delicious beer to keep your hoard well supplied.
The hard-working evil effortlessly built a brewing copper so that delicious beer could be brewed as soon as possible. One of the little snots started working on the brewing copper. The nostalgic evil banished all thoughts of Oktoberfest and brass bands. Those would have to wait. More important tasks had to be completed first. Both beer and gold were now available in the dungeon, so it was time to hire some creatures to defend against greedy heroes or whatever else snuck around underground. At present, it was only simple orcs declaring undying loyalty to the ultimate evil. The rest of the horde was scattered to the winds.
Okay. Rooms? No rooms. 0 of 5 orcs. How do I get orcs? Ah, here, we can just... Ah, so! You can just hire them. Ah, okay.
Orcs were defensive close combat specialists, capable of dealing with many opponents. However, they were very vulnerable to ranged attacks. The dungeon of the expansion-mad evil grew and prospered, but unfortunately, it had reached the maximum possible population it could currently manage. Now a creature would have to be thrown into the bottomless pit before any others could be brought in. It's payday. An eerie gong rang through the halls. It did not bode well for the ultimate evil's treasury stocks, for at each sounding of the gong, the creatures would collect their undeserved wages. However, there was little it could do about this, as it was chained to the throne. Thus it had to give free rein to its servants' desires. For the time being, at least. The creature disappeared into the pit of uselessness with a long-drawn and gradually diminishing
Oh. Okay.
This particular act of wickedness brought a smile to the face of the ultimate evil.
Okay, take now Snark. Snark? I'm sorry. Oh. Oh. Okay. I wanted to toss you the inside. No! Good night, CP. See bed and sweet dreams.
Suddenly, one of the repellent evil's servants became very thirsty. This was typical of a troop member of the unanonymous alcoholics known as the Horde. The Dipso made his way to the nearest brewery to quench his thirst. A thirsty orc arrived at the brewery. Eager and slavering, he started demolishing the alcohol-hoarding evil's stock of beer.
Okay. You need one more? Yeah. Knuffels, Northy. Okay. So,
One louse-infested orc crawled up from the depths and declared allegiance to the ultimate evil. The first step towards the creation of a powerful army had been taken. The profound evil had had enough of dungeon sightseeing and now wanted to move to the surface to try a dish that is best served cold. Revenge. Some Alliance members were bound to be guarding the entrance to the overworld. A fine appetizer for a vengeful evil.
Seek south. Okay. Okay. Am I orc?
The nameless evil creatures came upon a spider's
the orcs
nest during their search for
are
an
working on
entrance
our
to the
walls.
underworld.
See?
It would take more than one orc to smoke that out. The abysmal evil used the hand of terror to grab several of the creatures that were still completely inexperienced at fighting and threw them onto the spider's nest.
Okay. There are other orcs? Ah, here. Huh? Go.
The spiders dropped like flies. The strategically well-versed evil patted itself on the back, proud that it had led its troops into battle with such aplomb. And by led, I just simply mean chucking them at the enemy. The basics of a dungeon were now in place. However, the brewery was puny and didn't really have room to store beer barrels in, and the treasury was also anything but impressive in size. Quickly, the expansion-hungry evil set out to enlarge its dungeon.
The evil has awoken, but its brothers are still asleep.
Huh? What on earth was that? That's not in my script. What a weirdo. No matter. We'd better get back to concentrating on the dungeon.
Okay, what do we do here? Ah, here should we do more treasure. Okay.
A few creatures of the ultimate evil had lit a fire in the dungeon and begun to barbecue. The smell of freshly roasted meat wafted through the underground.
Okay, more treasure. Oh. What do you do with this book? Can't take it? Hello? Can I maybe can tell my guys to take it? Oh, aha! Okay, whatever it was, he has it now. A room production brewery.
It's payday.
Oh, mighty brewery. Yeah. Did we save? So. There's more gold? There's also gold?
A huge monstrosity loomed out of the darkness on 8 legs. This dungeon's human guards had been ancient history for a long while. Now it was home to a huge spider and her brood. Would Sam and Frodo escape it and continue their journey to Mount Doom, or was this the end of the ring bearer? Hang on a minute, that's not the right text. Where were we? Oh yes, a huge spider, henceforth called the Spider Queen. It would be necessary to eliminate the Spider Queen before the horde could reach the surface. The Spider Queen sent forth a wave of her children. Of course, the ultimate evil was fully aware of this danger and immediately prepared to defend itself against them. At least, that's what I hope.
Yeah. Oh! There's overall healing potions.
The vile perversion, once called the Spider Queen, had nothing more with which she could fight the horde. Later, the sensitive evil would have her innards made into a lava lamp. The way to the surface was open. Now it was time to put those vengeance plans into practice. The vile evil wanted to take this opportunity to utter a really sinister laugh. But unfortunately, its physical state made this unviable. Instead, it asked the narrator to do a bit of sinister laughter on its behalf. Oh well, here goes. Deep breath. Once the ultimate evil had escaped from the depths, still fettered to the throne, it traveled to wreak terrible vengeance on those who had done this, heavily supported by its little snots. The first target was Paladin Robert, now King of the Alliance. He had withdrawn to the quiet surroundings of his hunting lodge. There, he would be the perfect victim.
First impression of the game, really good. I mean, what we did in the building, in the dungeon, etc., was what I expected. Yeah, and it's really well presented with the narrator and stuff. It's quite nice. Has nice humor, and
according to
also
scouts,
looks quite okay.
King Robert spent most of his time strolling around his hunting lodge garden, reciting poetry. Soon his poetry would turn into mournful ballads. The vengeful evil thirsted to defeat the Alliance's king and mount his head on the wall as a trophy. Whoops, of course, I really mean that he wanted to take all of King Robert's cookies away. Better play it safe. or the age classification folks will be after me. Before that, however, the ultimate evil had to do a bit of work on the dungeon. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to fund even a small army made up of a few orcs.
Okay. Dave? Our first impression is really, really good. I would also play more of that game. It was nice. It was really good. Of course, I don't know how the game is long term. When you play more. Yeah. We got also an achievement, guys. The primeval has died at least once on the first map. Only 23.5% of players have this achievement. See? We can be proud. I died there on purpose just so we get an achievement. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, but really good first impression. It seems to be really fun.